So welcome back. I've got two more psychotherapeutic modalities to tell you about and to see if we can um, plunder from the Egyptians once more and see what insights we can gain and incorporate in our work as pastoral counselors. The first of the two is family systems therapy. Um, Family system therapy cares about looking at the dynamics of the family and generational patterns. If we are to think about pastoral applications, it's addressing issues in the context of family dynamics and understanding the family's role in the spiritual life across multiple generations of one's family. Now, key proponents of this view or this therapeutic modality are Murray Bowden and Salvador Muchin. Now, I wanted to introduce you to them and how they explore the interconnectedness of the family and its impact on individual members. I want you to understand that the family is a system, and counselors can address complex relational issues and promote healthier family functioning as they begin to see and understand what's going on and how the dynamics and the culture of one's individual family affects them over time and affects generation over time. Because the family is something that it's where we learn a lot about how we are going to relate to the world. Think about your neural networks and synapses are forming under the weight and influence of the dynamics within your family of origin as you grow up, especially the very early years of your childhood. And there your mind is forming, and then you're going to go into the rest of your life with a mind that's been formed in that microcosm of an environment. And that is going to relate to how you relate to other people and their dynamics, and then how that perpetuates it from you to your offspring and then to the next generation after that. So Murray Bowden began to look at this, and he's a American psychiatrist, was born in 1913 and died in 1990. And he laid the foundation for family systems theory. He was influenced by systems thinking and developed a concept of differentiation of the self, emphasizing the importance of individuality within the family system. Bowden's work highlighted how emotional triangles and family dynamics contribute to anxiety and dysfunction. Now, Salvador Minuchin, who was born in 1921 and died in 2017, is an Argentinian-American psychiatrist, and he furthered the development of family systems therapy and by introducing the structural family therapy, which focuses on the family structure and boundaries. Minuchin's approach involved restructuring family dynamics to achieve healthier relationships and more functional interactions. 5 key elements I want you to consider and see what we can glean from it and use in pastoral counseling. First one is differentiation of the self. Differentiation of the self is a central concept in family systems theory. It refers to an individual's ability to balance emotional connection with others with autonomy of themselves within the family system. The higher differentiation one is able to attain allows them to maintain their own identities and make choices independently of family pressures, or anxieties. The lower a differentiation one has begins to lead to emotional fusion and difficulty in managing one's emotions and relationships. Now, we're talking about differentiation. We're talking about the difference between me and the family. If one is able to differentiate greatly, then they are able to have independent choice. If one differentiates very minimally, then there is a blending, a fusion, an enmeshment that occurs where they can't understand the difference between them and their family. And it's the latter that leads to emotional fusion and difficulties in managing their relationships and their own emotions. Now, you bring that into the Christian context and differentiation of self with the principle of seeking spiritual maturity and identity in Christ. Pastoral counselors can help individuals navigate the balance between their faith and their family dynamics and personal growth. If you're aware of these things and you're looking to discern in the people that you counsel what's going on, you may help them to see and know and understand it also. And you can help them to understand the difference between who they are, who God is, what's going on in the family dynamic, what personal growth is involved, so that they may maintain and establish healthy boundaries while also maintaining love and respect and connection with the family. All right, number 2, structural family therapy. Structural family therapy was developed by Salvador Minuchin, and it focuses on addressing and modifying the family's structure and boundaries. It aims to create healthier patterns of interaction within the family system. Now, therapists actively intervene to restructure relationships, hierarchies, and boundaries to improve family functioning. So family therapy would bring more than one person into the counseling room. It would have multiple people, and it would be working to restructure the relationships and the hierarchies and the boundaries between the individuals who come to family therapy. From a pastoral application point of view, the Christian perspective tells us that within a structure of family, there can be a harmonial functioning and mutual support within the family. And there is also a hierarchy within the family that is biblically supported. And so pastor counselors can work with families to identify areas where restructuring may be necessary in order to align with Christian values and principles. This may involve reinforcing healthy boundaries, pointing them out, praising them, as well as healthy hierarchies, while also nurturing love and grace within the family. Teaching that boundaries and hierarchy never is a call for dominance, but is a place for leadership and care, love, and grace. And so pastors can help the ones they work with to see and know and work through some of these issues. The third thing I'm going to tell you about is a genogram. A genogram is a visual representation, like a flow chart or like an organizational chart. It has got boxes and circles and lines between all of the family members. And it visually draws out and represents the family relationships as well as the histories going back several generations. A genogram includes information about family members, their roles, the significant events in their lives. Genograms help therapists and families to gain insight into intergenerational patterns and dynamics. They can reveal reoccurring issues. They can reveal challenges within the family lineage, and they can become points of conversation, bringing that into pastoral counseling. Genograms can be a valuable tool for understanding a family's faith journey and its challenges. And pastoral counselors can assist families in drawing out and creating their own genograms that will highlight how faith has been passed down throughout the generations. And that can lead to discussions about spiritual legacies, generational patterns of faith, opportunities for healing and growing, healthy boundaries, healthy hierarchies, and so on and so forth. So what you're trying to do is generate great conversations so that you can lead and you can guide and you can help people to come to a deeper grasp of their faith as they work through their problems. We help them to deal with their problems as a doorway into advancing their faith and learning to rely upon God and trust in the gospel of Jesus Christ as the resource they need to deal with a lot of things in life. Now, number 4, under family systems therapy, triangulation. Triangulation occurs when tensions or conflicts between two family members lead to the involvement of a third party, and they form a triangle. And this can disrupt healthy communication and create emotional dynamics that complicate relationships. Family systems theory examines how triangulation affects family cohesion. It has been represented by Stephen Karpman's drama triangle, which is a model of dysfunction and shows how social interactions kind of can formulate this triangulation. And it illustrates a power game involving 3 roles. If you think of a triangle, you think of one role being the victim, one role being a rescuer, and one being a persecutor. Each role represents a common and ineffective response to a conflict. So here you have someone who thinks himself as a victim. Well, that means that they think somebody else is persecuting them. So what do? They go and get a third party to function as a rescuer who may deal with the persecutor. But what ends up happening in this drama is that people begin to switch roles. And so the rescuer becomes the persecutor of the persecutor, and the persecutor becomes the victim. And all we're doing is switching these roles in this power game. It really does not help. It becomes very ineffective in responding to conflict. In a Christian context, triangulation can be related to the importance of resolving conflicts and seeking reconciliation within families. And pastoral counselors can help families to recognize the impact of triangulation, understand their role in it, and step back from it in a healthy way to resolve conflicts differently. And that will help them to foster direct and healthy communication. We notice also that in Matthew 18, it talks about us going one to another to resolve our conflicts, which means not getting a third party involved in order to be triangulated upon or create a drama triangle. Now, as a pastoral counselor, you are a great resource for people that are having conflict. And you want to be very careful that you don't get sucked into the drama triangle, even as you sit outside trying to help 2 parties reconcile and communicate. Number 5, cultural and contextual considerations. Family systems theory acknowledges the influence of culture and context on family dynamics. It recognizes that cultural norms and societal factors can shape family behaviors and roles. So therapists consider the culture, they consider the contextual aspect when working with a diverse set of families. So it means you've got to get to know what the context is, what's going on. And that's what's going on from the culture surrounding the family, the culture in the family, the context of a given problem. All of these factors are essential into helping resolve and to work with the family. Now, from a Christian perspective, learning cultural and contextual factors is also very, very helpful and biblical. So pastoral counselors can facilitate conversations that respect cultural backgrounds and explore how faith and cultural values intersect. This approach promotes inclusivity and ensures that counseling is culturally sensitive and relevant. So, by way of conclusion, these family systems theory and family systems therapy, developed by Murray Bowen and expanded upon by Salvador Minuchin, offers a comprehensive framework for understanding and addressing complex family dynamics. By focusing on differentiation of the self, structural therapy, genograms, understanding triangulation, and considering cultural and contextual matters, pastoral counselors can support families in their faith journeys. This approach aligns with Christian principles of love and grace and reconciliation, understanding, working one-on-one to resolve conflicts, and fosters healthier family relationships within the context of faith and spirituality. And as we know, the family is a big deal within the Christian context.